All right, now let's talk the Equalizer 3. Robert McCall finds himself at home in the southern Italy, but discovers his friends are under control of the local crime bosses. As events turn deadly, McCall knows what he has to do. He has to become friends and protect his city by taking down the mafia. Whole ass
Wow.
summary there.
The
Yeah, it really
description of
gives you.
this movie sounds way stupider than the movie actually is.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It
The Rotten
does.
Tomato one's pretty similar too, so I just did the IMDb one. Yeah, but
Okay.
this is a 75% critic score, but a 94% audience score. It was an hour
Whoa.
49. Yeah, a little big difference there, I guess. To almost 20
Also,
points.
and worth noting, we just found out that Rotten Tomatoes might have some fake
Frauds.
little
Little
frauds
fraudulent.
there.
Yeah,
So we just found that out today.
That's crazy.
So,
I mean, I believe it, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
then
not that
again, like,
surprised.
it's not like it actually matters if that makes
no, it
sense.
really doesn't. We'll be
Like, I
dropping
don't
the
know.
official Small Guys score platform soon.
Yeah, but I
well,
mean, I just
I
don't.
do just I trust audience scores more anyway
So do
on
I.
just everything, and that's what I like. I like about IMDb as well. Um, is that's pretty much all audience based. But like I've heard rumors in the past that like Disney will pay off content creators even to give Disney movies a higher score rather than like other things. I mean, too, and even you see it with like video games like Call of Duty and Madden
waiting-
and stuff like that, where it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Game
we're
reviewers
waiting
will give
on
it high scores.
our Disney check so we can sell out.
Yeah.
We haven't got it
Oh, we
yet.
will
I can't
for
wait
sure.
to be a sellout, man.
Yeah, once we get our Disney check, you will realize us right away when I give the new Snow White 100%.
Yeah,
You
perfect
see me
score.
on my boat. I'll be down in the cabin on my yacht with a palm tree and Turks. So
Thanks to Mickey
chopping
Mouse.
up because I don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Aiden will be doing the Snow White review from the beach and the in Fiji. He'll be sure to give it 100 out of 100. He's very excited for that
Maybe
one.
I'll go to Italy. I don't know.
Yeah,
yet.
maybe Italy. He hasn't
Yeah, by
decided.
then Apple will own Disney, so they'll have even
Yep.
more money to give us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, but I guess to talk about this movie that we're reviewing, me and Aiden have seen the other ones. Andrew, I think, has seen the first one, but maybe not the second
Yeah,
one.
we were trying to figure out if I had seen the first one, so not that memorable. Me and Josh were going back and forth, and he was describing scenes. And I'm like, yeah, I do actually remember that. So I have seen some of the first one. Definitely confirmed. Never have seen the second one. I did see most of the third one. I was there with these two to watch it, but I had to take a little bit of a 10-minute siesta mid movie.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you probably didn't even notice.
I didn't hear you snore or anything. Was it at the beginning?
Yeah, it was like the first probably 10 minutes of the movie.
So I do think that the movie started out a
As soon as
little.
you sat down?
I think this one
Wow.
started a little slow.
Yep,
but
there
I was
you
glad,
go.
like, once we got into, like, seeing... I mean, because it was basically just a walkthrough of, like, all the dead bodies at the winery.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, where they were, moving the drugs and stuff through the wine. But then you go... I mean, obviously, you know that... or they're going through super slow, and then you see Denzel just sitting there in, like, the shadow. He's got two guys pointing guns to his head, and then he,
Yeah.
he's just talking his shit like he always does. And I mean, that's the thing about like these Equalizer movies, and it reminds me of The Accountant, or was it The Accountant with
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, and
Yep.
he's on the spectrum. He has like super OCD, and
Yeah.
Did that
you
movie have
see
like
that.
shaky cam or something? What happened?
No, it's
I
like
remember-
epileptic because he would,
Yeah.
in order to go to bed or like clear his mind, he would do that strobe light.
Oh
that would,
yeah,
like-
that's what it was. I
Yep.
remember
Yeah.
I was like, something pissed me off in that
yeah,
movie.
it was that.
That's
But
what it
Well,
was.
I told Andrew too, like just to give him an idea of the movie he was going to see. I almost related to like the John Wick movies, like action wise, or even like Nobody with Bob Odenkirk. Like that's
Yeah,
what these
definitely.
feel like. Where it's just one man who's a complete badass.
100%. I would say the difference in this versus those is nobody feels like this guy's just being inconvenienced. John Wick is more on like a revenge run, it seems like, at least if you're thinking about the first one. Where this guy is like on a calculated mission to take care of something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
to help people.
Yeah, and if something gets in his way, he's not going to like that's not going to slow him down.
Yeah.
Like that's just another like minor inconvenience, a part of his plan. Like that was basically the whole plot of this movie. Like not to go right to the end, but he had
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
one objective here, and a lot of
No,
things
I
just
mean,
got in his way.
that's just cool, but I mean, even like I have to rewatch the first one. I remember watching the second one. I've only seen it once, and I saw it at theaters. I know that Pedro Pascal, and they're like in Boston or like
Yeah, he's the
in some
villain
kind
in
of
that.
harbor, and he's taking them all out. But I remember the first one, like it was so based on like his OCD and like that watch. Like he would literally say everything that's gonna happen, click that watch, and you do it all in like the matter of seconds, and he'd be like, oh, 10 seconds earlier. Oh, it was a second late. Like, like he
Yeah.
just knows that what's going to happen. And I think
Yeah,
that was cool
it
about
starts
this
out
one.
with that, with him in the chair there, and he's like, "You got
Yeah.
9 seconds to figure out what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your buddy here is gonna shoot him." Like he laid it out for him. He told him exactly how it was gonna go, and that's exactly how it went.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at him too. I mean, like you said, like he doesn't look like a threat. So, like, you're looking at him, he's an older guy. Like, you're like, oh, like, what are you going to do, old man? And he just fucks them all up. But that's the thing
It's
is,
a
he doesn't,
cane
like,
for the first half of the movie.
yeah, but he doesn't even, like, there's no remorse. Like, he's, like, a full-fledged serial killer, I guess you could say. Like, it's not even like
Yeah, there's a
he's
little
just a trained
little
tactician.
unsettling.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of how John
Here's
Wick
what I
was,
found.
Whoa.
though. Too. He
God, it scared the shit out of me.
John Wick in those he's like just gunning. Like there's it's not
just
personal.
Guns blazing.
Where in Nobody, it almost seemed like that movie with Bob Odenkirk, that seemed almost personal. Like he liked to
Yeah.
get to know people and and really get his hands dirty with those. Where these, it just feels like, just getting through the day, taking care of
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, and to relate it to the other movies too. In the first movie, he's basically working at like a Home Depot.
Yeah,
And
that's the
and,
one I definitely saw.
Yeah, and so he used to be a CIA agent, and then he retired. He lost his wife, but yeah, he tried to like change his name and do new things, and ended up working at Home Depot. And then the second movie, he's a Lyft driver. So in this third movie, it was kind of cool to see him end up in Italy and I guess find this town and find this group of people that he actually could call home. I thought that was really interesting because throughout this whole trilogy, we haven't seen anything like that from his character. So I thought that was kind of cool, and that gave his character more heart. I feel like
Yeah,
so. I like that a lot.
No, I definitely like that. I think the setting of this movie was good too. I don't know the town, or I think they were in Sicily, right? So they're
No,
there. I mean, it
I
just
don't
looks
think
nice.
so.
It's just you don't think so?
Or that's
I
where
don't
the was that where the
that's-
winery was, or that's where they were transporting in the.
Maybe
that's where they were transferred. This was a
Yeah.
small, I believe, like sub area of Italy, or
Yeah.
it may have been a little country right around there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I like that. I
Sound
like it being a
stupid.
small town, and obviously, like it looks like nothing could go wrong there. And right when he like got there, he's like, Enzo's treating his wounds. He's kind of like learning the town, waking up, getting better, and he's sitting down at the cafe, like, what? Who could he possibly kill here? Like, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, is he just gonna start killing random people, or like something happens? And then obviously you show the mafia, and then it kind of keeps going. You see how it gets darker and darker. Like each scene, like I think shit really hit the fan when he threw that Hector Salamanca out the window and hung him, the old grandpa with like Parkinson's. And I thought that I was like, holy shit! Like, all right, they're not letting up on this. Like, I couldn't imagine like what's gonna happen after this. Like, he's just gonna kill the fuck out of him, basically.
Yeah, I mean, these movies have always been gory, but that, like, I mean, throughout
that
the
was
whole movie, I mean,
nuts.
you can tell right from the beginning when they're showing all the dead bodies and how they died.
You could tell this is they didn't edge. Actually, that's a great point, Josh. Right in the beginning of this movie, when they're showing the dead bodies and they're showing the kills, you immediately realize this is a rated R movie.
Yeah.
This is not a PG-13 movie. Like they make that clear and they don't hide it in the first 5 minutes.
Right off the bat. Yeah. Oh yeah, blood everywhere. It's insane. No, and we forgot to mention too, he gets shot by a little kid, and he aims the gun at him, and you see like he sits down after the kid runs away, and he's like contemplating almost like shooting himself. And at first, like, this is the first 5-6 minutes. We're like, what the hell's going on? And you're trying to put yourself in his shoes, but like, I guess when you know his morale and everything like that, like his feelings on things, it's like that's probably the worst thing he could have done ever. And so he felt terrible
Yeah.
about it and almost contemplated taking his life just because he aimed a gun at a kid.
So
I know, what a crazy start.
I don't think he contemplated suicide because he was going to kill the kid. I think he knows that he was wounded, obviously enough to where he knew he was going to die. He just took a shotgun in the back, and
and he just figured maybe if I just put it.
Yeah, nobody's
That
there
was-
by
that
was
himself. No one's gonna help him, and then let alone he's at the cartels or whatever mafia's compound. So like they're eventually gonna come and they're gonna torture him, kill him, do whatever. So he goes and he pulls the trigger, but he's out of bullets. And you hear it click, and then he's like looks around, and then that's when he gets in the car, passes out, and then Enzo and the police guy or the police officer we see find him, and then that's how it goes.
Okay. I thought it was mainly because the kid thing.
Yeah,
No,
I mean he knew that he
it
was dead regardless.
Yeah, I think he thought like, fuck, I got shot. I might as well just put myself down. And I was just
Damn.
like, holy shit, that's
it was bad too. Like obviously, like Enzo saved his life.
yeah.
But he's going. He's like bleeding profusely, and he's passing out at the wheel. Like he could have just crashed and died.
Well, he does tell him, he's like, you're lucky that was only like a 22 caliber, not anything bigger.
Yeah, I love the Enzo character a lot too. I feel like he worked in this movie like very well.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite lines from the movie is he asked him early on when they first meet if he's a good guy or a bad guy, and then they bring it up about halfway through the movie again, and he goes, why did you do that? I said I didn't know, and he's like, well, that's what makes you a good guy. A good guy wouldn't know, because if you say yeah I'm a good guy, or you say yeah I'm a bad guy, both sound like sus, like you probably are a bad guy. You know what I mean? So I like that line a lot. And
It is
I was
true.
very
I mean,
nervous.
that just shows that him saying what he said shows that he had a conscience.
Yeah.
Not that he was good or bad, which I feel like kind of says that he's good.
Yeah. And
If he's
again,
at
that's
least-
why I didn't think he said I'm a good guy because what he did to the kid. That's what I was pulling all that from that. So I don't know. But I was very nervous, and I told both of you, I'm like, I think Enzo's gonna die. I was very
I
worried
expected
about
it.
it.
The fact that they were just taking people out, and I mean, every time that those mafia dudes were on screen, and they either had the cop and his family, or the cop. I mean, it's basically really only the cop. Like they're just targeting
That
the shit
poor
out of this
guy.
guy. Yeah.
That guy, I mean, I think I
He
leaned
owes
over to
everything
Josh.
to-
I was like, give that guy a break. I mean, he's just literally someone in the wrong place at the wrong time just trying to do his job.
Yeah, he literally. I mean, they're all like family basically in that town, and I mean, obviously we know that they burned the fish market down, and then he goes. He's just doing his job. Like it's not even like he was digging deep. Like he literally was just like, "Hey, can you give me a read on this car?" And like that's what I thought.
Then
I
he
thought some
saw-
of the acting was really bad. Yeah, like he's just. He's just calling about the car, and then so and so, like they go and they have his family, like they have his kid. They're beating the shit out of him, hit him in the back of the head with a pipe, like all this stuff, and all because like they basically could have just knocked sense in him right there, like, hey, stop doing your job, like, or pay us off, like, whatever. And they don't. They continue to keep doing shit. They pick him out of whatever it is and bring him to town square and go to like assassinate him in front of everyone.
No, before that, he said like, kind of okay, and like nothing happens at that point. And then he's just out to dinner with his family. That's what it is. And they just show up just to like, make a scene basically. Like and they make it known like, hey, how's your head, buddy? Oh, look at you, little girl. How you holding up? You still doing okay? And that's when you see, McCall, Denzel Washington, just sitting there, just hanging out. He's got a table as well.
Well, that's the best part is, I mean, you see that like snotty or whatever the hell that like main guy was, like the brother, and he's going around, he's just fucking around with the town, like doing all that. He wants to get into like bigger crimes, I guess you could call them, and he goes and like that camera angle's sick. Like anytime that like Denzel just pops up, like it's always a good shot. And he goes and he's like talking shit to this guy, and then he like the camera pans, you just see him like catches something off the camera, and you're like, oh, what the hell is he looking at? You just see McCall just sitting there staring at him.
Just zoned in. I feel like we should mention too. I thought we had a pretty good like crowd at the theater. We had a good amount of people laughing and making.
Well, the movie's funny as hell, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the movie was hilarious. Like the fact that, I mean, you see Denzel and like, I mean, all of his roles, like he's never, I can't really compare this role to any of his other movies or any other roles that he's played.
Because how he plays this character, it's more like cocky. He's sitting down for dinner there. Yeah, he's cocky, but it's more like an inconvenience, like I said. Like he's like, you come to this town, and I was just trying to, mind my own business, and now I
really sort of like these people.
Yeah, he's like, and now I'm gonna kind of have to like protect them. Yeah. So I think you guys should go do your business somewhere else. Like, just go ahead. You go take it somewhere else. I'm not even gonna come after you. You just hit the next town over, not where I'm at.
Yeah.
And that's when that guy's like, "Who are you talking to?" And he immediately grabs his arm right away.
I wish you would have made him shit his pants, dude. I was waiting for it. I was hoping like at the end he was gonna make him shit his pants.
Yeah, he's pushing on that nerve, and he's like, "So this is a 2," and he keeps talking. He's like, "All right, now we're at a 3. A 4 is where you're gonna shit your pants.
You're gonna shit all over yourself."
He's like, "We don't want to get to a 4, do we? Like that's bad."
But dude, one of the funniest. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, he's like, "Tell your guys to get out of here so they don't have to see you shit your pants."
Yeah. Well, one of the funniest things I think of like this entire movie is when he's going and like, I mean, even they're beating the cop's ass in front of his daughter. Then they go, like, the town is so small. So, like, they show up at that one point when they're going to execute him in front of everyone in, like, the middle of town because he wants to find out who killed his brother. And he goes and, like, they all bring their kids out. Like, leave your kids inside. You see that this, like, you know what they're doing. And, like, oh, here, let me grab my son and give him a front row view of, like, some guy about to get assassinated.
Have you seen someone get assassinated yet? Come on.
Like, I mean, it's stupid.
It did feel a little stupid.
I mean, even, like, some of the dialogue from Denzel was kind of choppy. I think it was the one scene, like, I mean, we're skipping the part where he goes right after, all right, I'm going to cut myself off. One thing I like about his character is that, like, in the part where he kills the, like the brother in the middle of, like, right after they walk out. Yeah, right after they walk out of that restaurant. And he goes and, like, you think they're like, oh, we're going to get his ass tomorrow. And then he immediately, you think everything's good. They're smoking a cigarette. You see the van go and smush that one guy. It's like, holy shit, what is going on? You think it's
that's the one thing I liked about this movie. It was unpredictable.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, like, you were very, or at least me as the viewer, I mean, I genuinely was like, I know there's this badass guy, but you don't know when he's going to show up.
No,
and they don't give a lot
shadows.
of time for, like, where they do in the John Wick movies to compare to that again. It seems like the bad guys are, coming up with the plan, and here's what we're going to do. Ain't no time for that here.
No.
He just shows up, he's there, just kills all 3 people, like, within, like, I don't know, 60 seconds. And it's like, all right, on to the next scene.
And that's with even John Wick. Like, I mean, you see him, he's prepping, he's getting new guns, he's getting a new suit, all this stuff. Like, this dude was just at dinner. These guys are walking out like, I'm going to kill that motherfucker. Let me see him again. And then, 5 seconds later, he just killed all of them. It's like, holy shit. And I'm glad that they killed him like that early on too, because it obviously shows that like no one's
leaned
safe.
over to Josh right after that, and I go, "All right, well, here's the redemption where his brother goes, I have to find who killed my brother." And now it's the big mob boss fight versus Denzel, and we didn't even totally really get that. It was more like Denzel just shows up to that house.
Good luck. Well, that's another thing. Like foreshadowing it is, I knew it was coming. Was when like. After we saw that fight scene in, like, the middle of the street, then you go and he's like, we get his ass tomorrow, and they're eating pasta. And when they're all sitting there eating pasta, I'm waiting for the lights to cut out, and he just pops up. And then, I mean, literally not even a couple minutes later, they're guarding the house. He's in bed, and, he just comes out of nowhere with a silencer. He's just taking them all out one by one.
Yeah, like Hitman style or something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just sick.
Yeah.
No,
I remember, too, it started
enjoyable.
storming.
Yeah.
at the end of the movie, and I think Andrew's like, "Oh, is it gonna start raining?" And I go, "All these boss fights and all three of these movies have ended in the rain, so
Yeah.
it makes sense if this were to happen."
It wasn't
Gotta have
as bad
rain.
as we expected, but
Yeah,
No, it
but
wasn't.
yeah, I
It
literally
wasn't
told Josh.
bad.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the one thing we're totally missing is the plot with the CIA chick.
Yeah, I was gonna bring her up, but I think
We're
that
not-
was so pointless. I think that she
Yeah, it
was
kinda
awful.
was.
And who is that? That's
it's Dakota Fanning.
Dakota Fanning. And I know that she looked familiar, but
Yeah, but her mom ties into the
yeah,
second movie.
the second one. That's why.
Yeah.
It
Who was a
makes
friend
sense.
of his late wife.
Mm.
So she would always come check in on him on their anniversary every year, but she ends up dying in the second one. So I think he's watching over her as well to pay her back. So I think it did end up making sense at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do agree with you guys with her character, though. I was like, oh, what's the point of her character? But you do figure it out at the end of the movie. And like you guys said about unexpected shit happening, when she's walking to the car and it fucking
Dude, I
explodes,
jumped.
like you
I
just
literally
never
jumped.
knew.
I probably
Yeah.
jumped a fucking inch off my chair because I was like this.
Yeah.
It was like watching the scene and then whenever it cuts and then I'm like, oh, like they're talking on the phone, like who really cares? Nothing. I look
Yeah,
down at
it's
my
just like,
popcorn, I look
watch
up and it's
yourself.
just, dude, I thought the damn theater exploded. It looks so
Yeah.
legit. I was like,
And that's a credit to the camera work too, because it's all one shot when she's
Yeah.
talking to Denzel about hey, just be careful, and then she hangs up the phone, starts walking, it blows up. It's all one shot, and it was
yeah, no,
dude,
that
it got
was-
me
that was
too. I was
crazy.
like, fuck.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
jumped.
you never
I
knew.
was-
Threw my damn popcorn in the air, dude. But
Yeah.
I also like that's a great tie-in. I like that. I mean, at the end it makes sense, but her character, like on screen, like she's talking to these like ambassadors and like people in like high positions and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, you thought it was a deal? Like, no, like I'm doing this for you. You're not doing anything for me."
Yeah, she didn't
Like,
give very
there's
big
no deal. Like it was like
CIA vibes.
yeah, and he calls her out like, "Oh, this is your first like field job, like all in that," and like you don't expect her to get that kind of like authority, you know?
Yeah.
Like you expect a guy to be doing that, not because she's a girl, but because he has more experience.
Yeah.
I completely still think, I know the movie's over, I still think her boss is in on it.
I know.
I
Yeah,
was waiting
Josh.
for it. I'm like, dude, we're running out of movie. I'm like, that's a shitty
Frank
take.
Conroy,
I'm like,
yeah.
I
something
know.
happened.
Josh leaned over and told me that too. He goes, I think he's in on it. I go, I hope not. That's kind of shallow. Like that
Maybe
just
from his
seems,
time on The Office, I just don't trust him. But
that just seemed like shallow plot. Like, so I'm glad.
it's just the way the character was working and telling her what to do, and like I don't
See,
know.
I feel like he felt like someone actually in that profession.
Yeah,
Like-
Well,
that's
too,
why
like-
she didn't look like she was a CIA or anything.
Well, them meeting
No.
like at the place at the winery, I just felt like he knew about it already and was trying to cover it up, and maybe he was involved.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was going way too deep with it. I was
Yeah, I
trying
think you were.
to catch the movie when there was nothing there, but I was like,
Yeah.
he might be kind of. If there's a
Well-
fourth movie, maybe he shows up and he's bad. I don't know.
After credits scene, maybe he's actually in charge of everything, and we just didn't stick around.
Yeah. Head CEO or head CIA boss will return at the end after the credits. No, I guess. What did you guys think of the ending? The way he took him out with his own drugs and
Sick.
made him, or I guess followed him through the streets.
Well,
That was
so
just, like,
that's one thing I didn't
psychotic.
mention is that
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you guys, but I was going to save it for here, and I'm glad I remembered. But
Mm-hmm.
when they're in the town and everyone pulls out their phones out of nowhere, like just randomly, you don't see
Yeah.
like any phones at all throughout the entire movie. But he
Then
said that
everyone's
he's
got
gonna
a new iPhone.
yeah, he said he's gonna take McCall and he's gonna kill him like a dog, and then
Yeah.
he literally kills him like a dog. He reverses it on him. He's walking him through the streets, waiting for
Yeah.
him to keel on over. So I like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
is cool
thought
actually.
Watching him like walk with him as he's crawling through the street, I was like, man,
Yeah.
this is psychotic.
And like everyone else, like I mean, it makes sense. Like he knows nothing's gonna happen to him because everyone wants that guy dead.
yeah.
But I mean, then you go, you're like,
Well,
all right,
I think
like
you should
just
mention
fucking kill
too.
him.
So after he's taking the drugs and they're walking and they're doing the thing and he gets out of the house, and then that guy gets smoked by the car. That caught me off guard too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was not
Yeah.
expecting that.
What are you
No,
telling me?
they
It's
don't even
6
care.
minutes. 6
Yeah,
minutes till the
it felt
drugs.
like 20.
kill him? Yeah, they walked pretty far. I felt like.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are
they
far
definitely.
so.
I couldn't get that far in 6 minutes.
Oh, dude, him even stepping on the glass too. Ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And they did a close up on his feet when he's pulling it
Yeah,
out.
they
Ugh.
didn't have to do that because I even was like, oh.
Yeah.
looking away. Yeah, definitely didn't need to.
No,
do
but
all
yeah,
that.
definitely a fitting way to take him out.
100%.
I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
I liked it. I think that it wasn't. I don't think we saw as much killing in this one as the other ones, but like I said, I don't really remember them.
Not as much action, probably.
Yeah,
but
not as much action, but it was
very
still
gory
like,
though.
yeah, it was. I think like when the action was on screen, it was like, like it made a big fucking bang. I guess you could call it.
It did.
Like
Yeah.
everything was just. I think the choreography was good. Not even that. Like any of the guys even got to fight back. I think that's one thing about him is like no one actually lays a hand on him.
No.
Like
even when they show him at the very beginning when he's sitting on that chair, he doesn't have like any blood on him or anything. And,
nothing.
You go through the halls and there's bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
That's just how calculated he
He's
is.
clean.
Yeah,
He's
it's
clean with
sick.
his work.
They're like,
But,
what do you mean there's only one set of prints?
Yeah. And I guess you could say that I don't think they didn't really set up a fourth movie.
I
think it's
liked
pretty
when
much over with.
the mob boss, I think his name was Vincent, the big bad, when that marshal or that head of chief of police is in there telling him, about what's going on and the CIA's there, and he goes like, "Oh, just take care of the CIA." And I leaned over to Josh and I go, "That's not how that works."
Yeah.
They're like fucking
that's what he
Hydra.
said,
Like
too. He's
you
like,
cut off
"No."
one head, they just keep. That's like the one group in the United States that like you just don't fuck with because they will just nonstop keep coming, and they will use everything that they have to get what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah. They lost his hand for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was
that
almost
part's
comical.
nuts, too.
He's like, "Oh yeah, take care of the CIA." I'm like, "Yeah, no, they aren't the people that are taken care of. They do the taking care. They just nonstop use whatever they need to get things done."
Yeah.
No,
I don't know. I will say this movie, like Aiden just said, with the action, it does feel like there's probably less of it in there, but I feel like it's probably the most gory of the three. Just going off, my memory. I've only seen the second one once also, and I've seen the first one a couple times. It's crazy. The first one came out in 2014. It's been almost 10 years. So I don't know
say,
if
is
they'll
that
continue.
before John Wick?
I feel like they were right around the same
I'm gonna
time.
have to find out.
I
here
think
while
John
we're
Wick
on
was
here.
2013 or 14. Go look. I think they're around the same time. Because they've always been somewhat compared to each other in a way. I feel
Yeah,
like.
but I mean, I'm wondering. I'm assuming John Wick did it first.
Yeah, maybe. I know too. There's an
They both came out in
Equalizer TV show,
2014.
which
I
is
think that's why
unrelated.
they did so well. I think
Yeah.
John Wick may have come out before that, and that's why people were hyped to go see Equalizer.
Yeah.
September 26th and October. Oh, Equalizer 1 came out before John Wick.
Oh wow, there
That's
we go.
crazy.
And two, like to Denzel Washington's credit, back then when he was 10 years younger, you could believe he was doing it, and now we could believe he can do it. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's just credit to him.
Oh, yeah.
Like at no point was I like, oh, this old man can't do this. Like no, he was selling me on it. I'm like, he's just such a
100%.
badass. It's like Batman for that town.
Yeah, exactly. And he's walking around with the cane, like stepping loud because I knew it was gonna like foreshadow something, but I didn't really, I guess. But I mean, he's just strategic. He's literally mapping out that entire place. He knew that place probably after a week, and he, just how strategic he is, and like, I guess he's playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah, people underestimating
Pays
him
off.
is what helps him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to kind of, I mean, if you guys are ready to kind of close out.
Well, no, I was going to say that
ahead.
happens a lot with Aiden. People don't think that he can lift more than Mike, but he can.
But he can.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. They kind of they call me the Equalizer. When we were walking out of the theater, I was just looking around in the movie. I'm like, I could take each one of these motherfuckers on right now, but I don't.
But
I
you'll
don't
let it go.
watch.
Maybe they're good
watches
people.
it.
Yeah, they're not mobsters. But no, I mean, one thing I want to mention before we kind of close it up is, like Josh said, how it's like good. I didn't really know how they were going to make a third movie. I think I watched the trailer once.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. I mean, I enjoy him, so that's why I was excited to see it. But when this one, like the story is basically like him kind of settling down. He finds this town, not on his own will. Like he kind of just shows. He just ends up there, and he becomes a, like a local. Basically, he learns the town. He meets people. He's friends with everyone. But he goes at the end, and you know how he's like super particular with his OCD and that spoon. They put a big emphasis in like the first movie with it, but when the town soccer team comes in and they're winning, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's a big deal." He gets up and he forgets the spoon when he's leaving. So now
Yeah.
like he's kind of I guess you could say adapting, to like having a permanent home. He doesn't
Yeah, and
need.
he's more
He's not
comfortable there
OCD.
to leave it sitting there. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
So cool.
I like that.
Yeah,
I think that was
the
a good
ending
little
was great.
nod.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So it's like if they did a fourth, I mean, what could they really do? I mean, I feel like the character's home now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think that it's good. I think it's a good send off. I think that they shouldn't really touch anything. I mean, maybe a prequel would be good, but that's too much work. But I mean, the fourth one's just going to be cookie cutter. It's going to be, either this, a bigger, higher power than these guys are going to go after them for, I guess, revolting the town or fucking liberating the town, I guess you could say.
Yeah, maybe a past enemy of his comes back for revenge.
but-
I don't know what it'd be.
I mean,
yeah.
he kills all his enemies, so I doubt there's
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. Cleans up his
Yeah,
tracks
like-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
I think it's a good send off. I think that they shouldn't really touch it. I mean, I would like to see more, but it'd be hard for the writers, I guess you could say.
Town bomb underneath the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think before just going into our reviews here, if I had to rank the three movies, I think this one would be at my top. I think the third one probably is the best, and then I'd go 1 and then 2. I think I liked 1 a lot, and then 2 is okay. 2's a little forgettable. I feel like the only memorable part is Pedro Pascal, and then the ending where they're in that like little town and it's pouring down rain and they're fighting each other. So
Wait, that sounds like the third movie.
yeah, it sounds like all three of the endings actually, to a certain degree.
I think I would go 3, 1, 2. In the order that I've seen them. 3 I liked, 1 I don't remember, and 2 I never saw. So,
All right.
I'll probably go. Like I said, I had to rewatch it, but I think I enjoyed the first one a lot. I think the second one I wasn't too much of a fan of the, the end, like the finale. So I'd probably go 1, 3, 2.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think 2 is just it's not really as comparable as the other ones.
Yeah.
So I think that's fair. I liked 1 a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
And it really showed you more about his OCD and everything, and the type of person he is. So, but yeah, I think too. I did try to watch it from the perspective of someone who maybe hadn't seen any of these movies, and I feel like to most of it, it makes sense completely as to what's happening. You're not lost. There's really no recurring characters outside of himself from other movies. So, yeah, I think you can go in there without seeing any other movie and enjoying it and still understanding what happens. So, but yeah, do you guys want to get into scores?
Yeah, I'll lead us off for this one. I would like to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling like.
I'm stopping you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep,
no,
go ahead.
do you mind if I go first?
Go ahead and start it.
Let me flip
You
a
got
coin.
Is right now I can go?
Yeah,
please.
sure, right now.
Okay.
We beg
All right.
you to go.
Okay.
We'd love to hear it.
Okay, so Equalizer 3, enjoyable movie, worth a one-time watch for sure, maybe a rewatch. If it was on a Netflix or a Hulu, I could actually see myself maybe throwing it back on. Would it get my full attention? Maybe not, but it was enjoyable enough that maybe I could throw it on again. I would like to maybe rewatch 1 and maybe see 2, because I like these kind of movies. They're entertaining. They're a little bit forgettable. This genre does seem to be kind of saturated with John Wick and Nobody and now Equalizer, and hopefully they don't do another spinoff with me and Aiden, which I heard they're thinking about. But if it happens,
Mr.
it
and
happens.
Mrs. Smith too.
Anyway, I enjoyed it. I don't have a lot of gripes with it. I think Aiden was right that some of the acting and writing at points feels a little cheesy, but it's nothing too crazy where, also there's no crazy CGI or anything that I remember. The bomb felt a little maybe a little fake, but it caught me so off guard that I didn't get that great of a look at it. I was more shaking in my chair.
I was checking my underwear.
So I didn't get that great of a look at it just because it was so spur of the moment. But I feel good with I'll go somewhere in between. I think the two, I like a nice 84 on the movie. Somewhere in between the two scores there. I think one was in 70s, one was in 90s. So I feel good with an 84.
Yeah, it's a good score.
Solid. I can go off of that. I mean, like you said, basically acting, that's the only thing I really felt cheesy about it. Anything Denzel, I think, is good. That's why, I mean, I was excited when Equalizer 1 came out. And, I mean, I would like to rewatch. I definitely will rewatch 1, and I don't know about 2. We'll see how it goes. But no, I mean, I liked it. I think that it was obviously predictable. I think the CIA kind of part could have got cut a little bit. I would have liked to see the mafia, like, you know, kind of move the drugs or like do something about it or like show it like impacting the streets or something. Because I mean, they just pull out. They call them perks, and I mean, you know, they're fucking the size of giant Smarties. So I don't know. I don't know what individual's popping a pill that big. But that was
It's
another
like the
thing I
size
thought.
of a bottle cap.
Yeah, it was kind of cheesy. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's not one of those movies that you take serious. I mean, you like action, you like gore. That's what you're gonna get out of this. But yeah, I mean, I feel confident giving it an 80 flat, 80 out of 100. I think that's a solid score for me, and I definitely would rewatch it. Yeah, I mean, I recommend it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I, you know, like I said, I enjoyed this one probably the most out of the three. I didn't go in with that great of expectations just because I wasn't like the biggest fan of 2, but I did enjoy 1, and I do. I mean, go listen to our actors draft. I took Denzel Washington. I think he is one of the goats. I think he is one of the best out there. So, you know, any movie he's in, especially in an action movie like this, you know, I'm a sucker for it. And I think I only watched the teaser for it or one trailer or something, and I tried to stay away from it just so I could kind of go in fresh. And I really didn't remember too much of it before seeing it, and I think that kind of helped me too, to really enjoy it even more. So yeah, I think this is like a good ending for the character. I think this is probably a good place for them to stop. You know, stop while you're ahead, sort of thing. I really did enjoy it though. I would recommend it to other people. I'm gonna go with an 87. I think it's really good. And yeah, I mean, obviously it's no like John Wick 4 or anything crazy like that, but I think like from an action standpoint, I feel like you get enough, and it is gory to the point where you don't need that much of it, right? So, yeah, they could definitely cut some things for sure. Probably it is a little slow at certain points, but also it's only an hour 45.
Yeah, I felt like actually the
it's not that
time
long
on
of a
this
movie.
No.
wasn't too bad.
I think it was a good runtime.
No.
Did you guys ever see the movie? I think it's Flight with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good one. We should
Where's
maybe
the
rewind for.
pilot?
Let's rewind that maybe next week. Next
Maybe
Tuesday's
Training Day.
episode. Be good timing.
Next Tuesday's episode's 8 Mile, starring
Ooh,
Eminem. Yeah, we will add Flight though. That is a good idea. I do like that movie actually. I think it's on Netflix or
Eminem.
something. It's on something. Anyways, yeah, we will be back with 8 Mile. Brian, Mr. Some Shady himself. He might be dressed up as Eminem. We'll have to see. I'm trying to convince him to dye his hair blonde and wear a white beater.
No, he's doing that for 21 Jump Street.
Yeah. We'll tell him it's 21 Jump Street. It's 8 Mile.
Yeah.
I'll get even more excited. But no, thank you guys for listening. That was the Equalizer 3 review. And yeah, we will continue to. I mean, we'll review Ahsoka when it's done. Right? That's the plan. It's 8 episodes. So yes, we'll be back. You know, I'm excited to check out the show, and yeah, we'll review it and give scores. So stay tuned for that as well.
September 22nd, Small Guys 2.0.
I
Something
think,
big,
I think we're all getting replaced. I think that's what 2.0 means.
Yeah, it's all AI.
Yeah, I think that we're
Small
getting
Guys
robots or we got
2.0,
clones or
September
something.
Chat GPT. We text our thoughts in there, and it does it for us. So.
It just runs it.
No, but Small Guys 2.0 is actually behind a paywall. It's Patreon. I don't know if you didn't hear in our last episode.
Oh yeah,
so
we did mention that.
steal your mom's
$100.
credit cards. Start saving up some bread because if you want to hear our sweet, soft voices from us 5 individuals, you're no longer going to be doing it for free. So
Yeah, $100 per episode. We gotta
100 a
pay.
minute.
We gotta pay these car payments.
yep.
This house
Mortgages, house payments. Nothing's
Yeah.
cheap nowadays. So if every other podcast is behind a paywall, why not join them?
bill. Yep.
Can't beat 'em, join 'em.
We have decided. We've been jumping back and forth with what do we do the pricing? That's too much. That's too little. We did settle on a fair subscription price monthly, $50,000. We feel is fair per person per episode per month. So
Our viewers are pretty established. I feel confident that
we feel $50,000, and we accept Visa, Master, whatever you want to do. Feel free to sign up. Feel like it's fair. Aiden will be launching the Small Guys Plus Premium Ultra package. That one is
Yeah, so we'll be back with 8 Mile on Tuesday. I gotta cut you off.
No screen sharing, no account sharing, no password sharing. We're definitely getting in on that.
Yeah.
I will personally be picking.
Go
each
check out
one.
our
I'll be looking
YouTube.
through
It is free. Everything's free.
Each window,
thank you
making sure
guys.
that 2 family members aren't listening to the same one.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you next
See ya.
episode.